I put the new 4Gs on the G. I trap until the bloody bottoms is underneath. Cause all my homies got it out the street. I keep 100 racks inside my jeans. I remember hitting the mall with my whole team. Now a homie can't answer calls cause I'm ballin'. I was waking up getting racks in the morning. I was broke, now I'm rich. I got them salty. All this designer on my body got me drip. Straight up out the country for 1/5. But if I got a Bud Light, I'm a sip. Run up these racks with my queen like London and Nip.
Alright guys, so in this video, I'm going to take you through the process of purchasing a ship horn and then having it installed in the bed of your truck. These hats, well, this one isn't on the website just yet, but it will be when you see this video. The other versions of these hats, the green military one and the charcoal, they're selling really fast. They're almost sold out. And of course the t-shirts are going really fast. Go check it out, stayfocusedapparel.com. Previous videos at like 6,000 or 7,000 likes, which is a little bit short of our goal of 25,000, but it's still climbing. In the meantime, can we get this video to 5,000 likes? And we'll do a side-by-side comparison with a decibel reader and see what's louder, this or those. What's gonna be louder, Kahlenberg ship horn or 5 Horn Blasters train horns? Guys, welcome back to the channel. We have a really requested video. The previous video was the ship horn. Not really an install, although I showed a little bit of the assembling process, I guess you could call it. Alright guys, so first things first, I want to go ahead and go over a tool list you should probably have to make this happen. Tape measure is a must-have. You want to make sure you measure your wiring, make sure you don't cut too little or too much. Also, you want to have a drill. Drill makes things way easier. Drill bit set, power bit set, adjustable wrench or crescent wrench, whatever you want to call it. Great to have, especially for the fittings on the tank. Wire strippers. You want to have good wire strippers because you want to make sure you have really good connections. And then you want to have a heat gun or a torch or a lighter for using heat shrink or heat shrink butt connectors. Another thing, electrical tape, and you want to have Teflon tape for the fittings on the tank. First step of getting that horn into this truck is finding that horn. Now that is a Kahlenberg S203, designed for a ship that's 200 meters in length or up. Okay, so right around 600-700 feet long or up. I think it weighs 70-80 pounds, something like that. Bronze part on the back is the heaviest part of it, also the most expensive part of it. But finding these is not very easy, but it's not impossible. You got to do your research, you got to know what you're looking for, and I was able to find this one. Believe it or not, I found this one in India on eBay. $1,400 shipped to my door. It took about 3 weeks. Kahlenberg is made in Wisconsin, so I don't know the whole backstory on that, but we got it. It functions fine, as you guys heard. And we have it. So if you guys need any help finding one, I can do my best to help you. I can't tell you the exact spot to get them because they're not super popular. But if you know what you're looking for, you should be able to find one eventually. Find the right people. Some people collect them. Some people are ready to get rid of them. So just do your research, and I think you'll be able to find one. You can buy them new. They're about $3,500. If you got that kind of money, go for it. I didn't want to spend that kind of money on a brand new ship horn for a truck. So I bought a used one. The used ones are just as good. You definitely want to have a game plan. Make sure you have the right compressor size, the right tank, the right fittings, all that stuff. You don't want to be just kind of pick. If you're wanting this to be like kind of a slow process and kind of piece it together, then that's fine. Okay. Make sure you know your inlet size on your horn. That's a very important thing. And you got to make sure you know your specs of your horn, what kind of PSI it needs, what kind of airline it needs. Okay, mine ranges anywhere from 100 PSI to 200 PSI. I'm running mine at 200, and it sounds great. As soon as I got the horn, I built that little stand, stainless steel, as you see. They're just hinges I found at the Home Depot. Got a little aluminum turnbuckle in between them, stainless steel hardware, and it holds the horn up great. Okay, all horns will vary. Okay, so I have a 1/2 inch inlet from the horn that goes to a 3/4 inch solenoid from Horn Blasters. About $50 for that solenoid. I think it's a must-have for these horns. That way you can press a button, open the valve, close the valve. That's the way to do it. Now that solenoid goes from that to a ball valve. Those can be had anywhere. You can actually get away with just doing that if you don't want to have it in your cab. You can just go in the bed and use it if you want. About $25, 3/4 inch ball valve, and then from the ball valve it goes to our 1/2 inch airline. So 3/4 inch to 1/2 inch reducer to the airline. That airline was right around, I think, $25. I think it's a 2-foot airline that wraps around, goes into the tank, and the tank's got 8 1/2 inch ports, so I didn't need a reducer to go into the tank. The tank is 12 gallons. You can get them on hornblasters.com. By the way, if you guys want to buy anything off Horn Blasters, I have a link in the description for 10% off, so go check them out. And you got to get all your fittings. And again, guys, this is going to depend on how much air you want to have in your tank, how fast you want to fill it up, okay? You want to make sure you have all your safety fittings too. What I mean by that is your pressure gauge, your pressure relief valve, your drain, and your pressure switch. Pressure gauge obviously tells you your pressure in the tank. Pressure relief valve doesn't let your tank reach over a certain PSI, and if it does reach that PSI, it opens up the valve and releases to protect the tank. Your drain is exactly what a drain is. It drains a tank from moisture, condensation that builds up over time. And then your pressure switch is what tells your compressors to turn on and off and when to turn on and off. So mine's a 165 to 200 PSI switch. Once the tank goes below 165, if you have your compressor switch on, it tells the compressors to turn on until the tank reaches 200 PSI, then it cuts them off. Okay, they're must-haves in tanks. Safe, there's no reason to not have them. They're just good for safety. You don't want these tanks exploding, trust me. Say under $100 in all fittings. Don't 100% quote me on that, but the fittings aren't the expensive part of this, trust me. It's the least of your guys' worries. Got fittings, got the safety fittings, and then now we got the compressors. Okay, the compressors, the two black ones are 444s, so they're a little stronger. Originally I only had the two little chrome ones, which are the 380s. Dual 380s is a lot, or is plenty for, I think a 6-gallon tank or something like that. But being that it's a 12-gallon, having 4 compressors working is way better. A lot less stress on the compressors, a lot less heat, and they don't have to work as long. Okay, the black setup I think was a little over $300 for the dual 444s. Dual 380s was like I think $280, something like that. The dual 444s, they came with 2 relays and that pressure switch. Same with the 380s, they came with everything, the 2 relays as well for each one. Okay, now we got to get into wiring. This is where it's really going to vary on how you want to do this. Okay, you can be done so many different ways. You can make it more simple than I did, or you can make it even more complex the way I did it. As you guys see, that little thing I fabbed up, it's got all 4 of my relays. I got them jumped together where they need to be jumped. There's a wiring diagram that shows you kind of what you got to do. Of course, you got to ground them all next to each other just so I can jump them to each other. And then it's pretty self-explanatory. There's no reason for me to show you. It's very simple. What I will show you is getting power to the bed, okay? And also how I wired the switches. You got the 4 relays. The right of those relays is our breaker. So I got a 100 amp breaker. It's a marine breaker. I wanted to use that instead of a fuse, just in case we blew fuses. I didn't want to keep replacing fuses. I wanted to just be able to, reset the breaker. I think that's better. A little bit more expensive. That breaker, I believe, was like $45-50, but it's a really nice one. Weather resistant, all that stuff. It's made for marine, so it can handle salt water, stuff like that. Okay. Next is that bus bar. So it's a bus bar, it's a negative and positive bus bar. So what I did was, one side is negative, the other side is positive. Wire runs through the bed to the frame. So that's our ground. And then the positive runs from the other side of the bus bar down through the bed, along the frame, as you guys see, up, and then to our passenger side battery little post by itself. So I don't have anything connected to the passenger battery but this, okay? Reason that wire is so thick is because you got a maximum of 90 amps running through that wire. Now, I think it's 2-aught gauge might be a little overkill because these compressors aren't gonna be running non-stop, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Go to say like an 8 gauge or a 10 gauge through that. That's a lot of amps running. Put the diagram up on the screen here to show you kind of a good rule of thumb to go by. You put a lot of amps through small wires, you're just creating a lot of heat, and a lot of heat can be very, very bad, guys. And I did not want to deal with that. Now our next step to get everything functioning properly, we got our power to the bed, we got our power to the breaker, all that stuff, okay? Now we need a power source to turn on those relays to relay the power to the compressors, right? So I ran a bunch of 14 gauge, I believe they're 14 or 16 gauge wire from the cab. I ran 2 of them. One wire was for our monetary switch for the horn solenoid, and one of them was for the on-off switch for the compressors. And a ADA circuit in the fuse block there. Ran the 2 leads from the ADA circuit to the horn switch and the compressor switch. And then I ran the 2 leads from those 2 switches to the bed. The on-off switch for the compressor goes to the pressure switch on the end of the tank. The other end of that pressure switch goes to the relay, okay? So basically that pressure switch it breaks the circuit there, cuts power to the relays so the compressors can't come on. That's what it's designed for, okay? The other wire goes from the horn switch to the solenoid, and then from the solenoid the other wire goes directly to the ground that's in the bed on the bus bar, okay? Pretty simple how it works. Right around $300 in wiring, which might be a little bit of overkill, but not a big deal because, like I said, you don't want to go cheap on that stuff. You don't want your walk outside your trucks burnt down. 2x4 platform is temporary. I'm waiting on a platform to get here so I can customize it and put those compressors on there and really clean it up. But for now, I'm not too worried about it. I really hope this video was helpful for you guys. I didn't want to do a video where it was just showing me do the whole install, wiring, stuff like that. I wanted to make this video very simple. If I missed something, comment down below. If you have a question about something, DM me, email me, whatever. My Instagram is d_Bertrand850. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll do my best to kind of walk you through if you're wanting to do this. I didn't want to drag this video out and show you each tiny little individual process. You guys get the idea. I did my best to kind of show you up close on how the wiring was done, how the wiring is ran, stuff like that. So I hope it was helpful for you. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a like. Let me know down below in the comments if you're looking to do this and you're on the hunt for a horn, and maybe you're in the process of building this, because I'd love to hear it, and I'd be more than happy to help you through the process. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.